I just think that when we are being more true to ourselves, when we're becoming all that we are actually meant to become, life starts to rearrange itself to reflect back this new version of you, right? And every new level of life is going to require a different version of you. Hey friends, I'm Tiff, and you're listening to That's Real, a podcast about creating the lives we want, not just the ones we were told to live. I'll be sharing everything I'm learning to live my life on my terms and hopes to inspire you to do the same. Let's redefine what's possible together. Hey friends, I'm Tiff, and welcome back to That's Real. So, friends, I started a Substack. I'm not sure how often I'm going to be posting on there. Actually, if you're on my email list, you probably got the email. Hi. So, I'm currently editing this episode, and I realize that some of you guys might not know what Substack is. So, Substack is this online platform where you can basically publish like newsletters, blogs, article style content. You actually can do a lot on there, and it pushes everything to your audience by email, or people can access it through, just as a website too. So that's what Substack is, in case you didn't know. But basically, I just started one because I feel like I'm in this phase of just trying out different things to see what feels fun and what feels like play for me. Like, I actually have even been doing this writing workshop every month that's been really cool. I don't know. It's like I'm trying to explore my creativity right now and just see what really brings me joy, because I'm not really sure what that looks like right now, which is crazy, right? Like, I feel like usually I'm like, oh, I know what I want to do and this is fun. Like, there was a period where I was so obsessed with fashion and, just all the things. And I'm kind of now trying to figure out, or trying to pull out, because everything is within you. Everything that you need, everything that you're trying to discover, uncover, whatever it is, I genuinely feel like it is within us. So it's like I'm trying to pull out what that is for me in this season. So I was like, you know what? I do like writing. I do feel like I have a way with words. So it was kind of like, you know what? Maybe I'll give Substack a try. Now, I don't know how consistent I'm going to be on there yet. It even took me a while to like actually hit publish on the very first article, but go check it out if you're into Substack or into newsletters and whatnot. Substack is kind of cool. It's like there's a lot you can do on there. You can even host a podcast on there, but it seems like a pretty cool community and just a fun way to, again, explore my creativity. But the very first Substack article I posted is called Life is a Mirror. And it's basically what I wanted to talk about in today's episode, because my mind has just been blown by the fact that life will literally mirror back to you what you believe about yourself. And I was actually kind of getting a little angry and like annoyed and also a bit overwhelmed when I kind of realized that I, like many other people, have unconsciously subscribed to the collective conditioning of this world, the limiting beliefs, right, that we're fed, almost every day, that we grow up hearing. I feel like that turns into a belief system that life then mirrors back to us. And it's like, just think about all of the things that people have said to you over the years that you might have registered as truth. Like, for example, I know for me in my life, let me think, or I'm just thinking back honestly to what I wrote in the Substack article. I was taught that, your creative dreams won't get you anywhere. They won't make you any money. Or, financial freedom only comes after a crazy amount of hard work and struggling and pushing and all the things. Or that it's childish to play and have fun, which, friends, I like to have a good time. Okay, I love to have a good time. And for years, I feel like I kind of suppressed that part of me. and tried to kind of like go the traditional route of figuring out my life and just being exactly who I thought I needed to be to accomplish something. What else? What else is there? I mean, honestly, if you guys have any, if you're watching this on YouTube, drop it in the comments. If you're watching this on Spotify, drop it in the comments. If you're watching this on Apple Podcasts, I guess you can send me a DM because I don't think Apple Podcasts has the comment feature. But there have just been so many things that we've been taught to believe, right? And it's like we can't even blame the people who taught us these things because it's what they were taught to believe. And of course, they had evidence to support these claims, right? Either from their life or from the lives of people who taught them these things, because life mirrors back what you believe. And this could literally be anyone, like a teacher or an organization you're a part of, to family members, like the list goes on, to friends, right? I feel like there is so much that we are exposed to on a daily basis. And I mean, especially now with social media, right? I think you really do have to be super careful about what you consume and kind of make sure that we're only consuming things that we actually want to believe or that actually help us remember who we really are. Because, something that my osteopath actually told me not too long ago, because I decided actually at the start of this month that I was going to be a lot more intentional about co-creating my reality. And I say co-creating because, again, I've said this before. I genuinely believe that we are always co-creating with source, right? With the divine presence within, with God, with creator. And I was like, okay, I'm going to intentionally try and do this now because I don't want to just flow in the direction of, whatever my unconscious beliefs are taking me. It's like, I want to be pulled in the direction of, where I'm actually meant to be going, like what is actually true for me. And so, literally a few days before I decided, like, I'm going to intentionally do this, right? I came across this video of Sanaa Lathan, who I think she was on a podcast. I cannot remember the name of the podcast, but I think it was this woman, Kathleen, who was interviewing her. And so in the video I was watching, she was talking about how she manifested her role in love and basketball. And for any of you guys who aren't familiar, although I really do think a lot of you guys know this movie, she is the lead in Love is Basketball, like the basically the star of the movie, although there are quite a few other stars, but still she's kind of like the main character. And they started this podcast off talking about, their belief system and how your thoughts become your reality and whatnot. And ooh, I was so into it. And I was so into it that the very first day that I decided, okay, I'm going to intentionally do this, like I'm going to put my all into just creating the life that I want. I was like, okay, I need to first focus on my belief system and just pouring into myself what I want to believe in a sense. So I started writing down all of these things like, I believe I am this. Like, I believe I can do this. I believe I can accomplish this. And just, I believe, I believe, I believe, I believe, I believe. And I was all pumped up about it. I was like, yes, I got this. I'm going to slay this whole creating my reality thing. Like, yes, I know exactly what I'm doing. And then I have a session with my osteopath, who's like my mind, body, soul practitioner slash therapist, you could say. And I'm telling her all about this. Like, yeah, I watched this video and I'm changing my belief system and all of this stuff. And I'm all pumped up. And she's like, okay, like that's fine. But you know that it's about remembering who you are, knowing who you are, and letting life mirror that back to you. And she was basically saying that it's not about going outside of yourself to find something or believe something, right? It's really about remembering who you really are. And it's like those things in your life that you feel like really resonate with you are a part of your remembering, are a part of your knowing. So instead of saying like I believe X, it's no, I know this to be true about myself. Instead of me saying, I believe that I'm a creator. No, I know that I'm a creator. I remember that I'm a creator. I'm waking up to that part of me. Honestly, we all are creators. Y'all know how I feel about that. If you don't, feel free to listen to some of my previous episodes. But I was shook to my core when she said that. So it's literally like, I know for me, it's like you guys know I love a good quote. I love a good life lesson. I've been really into just going to panels and listening to people speak and hearing about their lives and whatnot. And honestly, lately, a lot of the events that I've been going to and just like hearing different people speak, it's like there's always something in the conversation that like really feels true for me or really resonates for me or just sparks something in me. Again, that's real moment, okay? And I never realized before that it's like, oh, that's me remembering parts of me. Like, how cool is that? Like, I genuinely thought before, oh, like, okay, like that just sounds interesting. Like that sparked curiosity in some way. Maybe I'll dive into it deeper. And I usually do. But it just was really cool for me to hear that no, like that's a part of you. Like that's you, again, waking up more and more to who you truly are. So I scrap the belief system and turn that into a no, this is what I know to be true about myself. And if you are declaring that you know something to be true about yourself, of course the world is going to mirror that back to you because the world isn't going to just let you talk the talk and not walk the walk, especially if you truly feel it within you. It's like, no, there's no way. Has to mirror it back to you. And so I guess going back to like why I was getting angry is because I feel like there are just so many things that we've been taught to believe that are just not true. But if we register those as truth, then again, that's what's going to be mirrored back to us. And I feel like a lot of us, again, myself included, just have had a really hard time and have gone through these like really sad, challenging periods in our life because we don't really know who we are and what we're capable of and the power that we hold and what we carry, this beautiful light within us, the divine presence within us, and you can't shut that down. But I think we forget. I think a lot of us forget, right? And it's easy to forget because we are subject to all of this other stuff around us, all of these other people around us who have also forgotten. And if that's just what's pouring into us, then that's going to end up becoming our reality. And I'm at a point where I'm like, I am not doing that anymore because it's like, of course, a lot of us might not resonate with our current reality because it was never made for us. It was never birthed from us. It was a creation based off of all of this stuff that we didn't even want to believe in the first place. And it kind of scares me sometimes that this is so ingrained in our minds and our bodies and our hearts. And like, if we don't wake up to this, then we're just going to keep creating things that we don't fully resonate with. And I mean, granted, I think there are so many, my osteopath calls them programs. So like I call them programs too, but like the programs are basically like the false conditions, the false narratives that we've basically unconsciously subscribed to without even realizing it. I mean, maybe the most enlightened people in the world have, really unlearned every single thing. I'm sure it takes a lot of work, but there might always be like something in your space. I mean, who knows? But I'm like, I'm going to do whatever I can to really just come back to myself because that's the place that I want to create from. And I also feel like that's a more, what's the word? Sustainable. That's a word. It's a more sustainable way to create. I think it's also a more powerful way to create because you can't shake the truth. You can't knock the truth. And all of us, every single person walking on this earth has truth within them that will unlock our greatest potential. I truly believe that in my heart and soul. I know this to be true. Oh, hold on. It's about to. I need to change the battery. 1 second. Oh my gosh. I need to get a continuous battery because whenever this camera dies, I need to do the whole thing, take the battery out, put it back in, set up the stand and everything again, and then I lose my train of thought. Woo! So we just gonna dive back in with a new thought. Hopefully it's a continuation, but I guess I'll see when I edit all of this. But oh no, I think I was talking about how it's like more important to create from within and from your truth versus all of these limiting beliefs that we've unconsciously subscribed to. And I feel like the more we start to recognize all of this, that, oh, wow, like these are limiting beliefs that actually don't serve me at this point in time. Or, oh, like these are limiting beliefs that, I held on to because I thought I needed them to survive, but now I don't need those anymore. What does my life look like now? It's like, I feel like the more we start to recognize and like wake up to that, I think the more we start to feel this disconnect from the world around us too, because it's not reflective of who we truly are if that's who we're really trying to become. So, if you have been feeling this way too, if you've been wanting to wake up to all of this, I think that's great and it's beautiful. And it's like, I feel like those of us who are really on such a powerful path. But then it also most likely means that your life is crumbling right now. And when I say crumbling, it's not necessarily a negative thing. I just think that when we are being more true to ourselves, when we're becoming all that we are actually meant to become, life starts to rearrange itself to reflect back this new version of you, right? And every new level of life is going to require a different version of you. But I'm learning not to force things to stay the same as what they were because I feel like the more we do that, then it's like, how are we going to walk into this new chapter? If we're holding on to that, how are we going to get this new beginning that is probably what we've been praying for, right? It's probably what we've been wanting and hoping for. But it's like you over here trying to stay in your comfort zone and stay in the, oh, I just want to go with, what I know and what it's like, nah, friend. Like I really do think it's time for us to be on this path to honoring our truth. And I think what's difficult about doing that sometimes is because we've been so conditioned, it's like, do we even know what our truth really is? Ooh, and that's why we need to unlearn. And it's also not to say that like you're not grateful for things in your life. Like, I mean, for me personally, I am really grateful for all that I've done, all that I've built. And, I think it's also very helpful to remind yourself of all the things that you're grateful for in your life, which I'm sure you guys have heard all the time. Like, gratitude is the attitude, all of that. Yay. Like, I think we've all kind of been on that self help journey where we know that gratitude is important. But I think in order to get to the next level, it's also like accepting what is now. Whew, like it's a lot when you're trying to unlock or this new part of you or this new level of life. And it's just like, ooh, it's like, okay, so I got to remember who I am. But at the same time, got to accept what is, right? And then also kind of work towards the next thing. That's why I say, friends, we need support during these times because it's sometimes a lot for like our intellect to grasp. So I almost feel like it's a soul thing. Like actually something my osteopath also has said to me, it's like you can even like intend that even if there are things that your intellect might not be able to grasp yet, just again from all of the things you were taught to believe, intend that your soul grasps it and continues to show you the way, continues to guide you. So whew, I've been also in this process just trying to surrender a lot too. But but yeah, just going back to the point about like life crumbling and everything, because And this is actually something that I put in my Substack too. But you guys know Ken the Man, the rapper. Oh my God, I'm like kind of obsessed with her right now. If you guys watched my last live stream, I was talking about how like that's my jam, like riding around listening to Ken the Man, like that's my thing. But you know that song where she's like, as soon as ish ain't adding up, I'm subtracting. I don't like it when the math ain't mathin'. I feel like the universe is no different. And when it starts to see, like, okay, this girl is remembering who she is, she's waking up, she's honoring her truth, you start to see things start to subtract because those things aren't aligned for your truth. Those things were aligned for the version of you that subscribed to all the BS. So right now, I'm like, listen, I am not forcing things. I am just going with the flow, but like an intentional flow of like following what is true on like a soul level, if that makes sense. I hope this is making sense to you guys because sometimes I feel like I just be talking and I'm just like, but I'm really, really into this stuff right now and just like doing the inner work to uncover who I really am because, yeah, it just makes me sad that like the more we've been exposed to things that aren't real, the more we've believed things that aren't real. So then our reality just becomes kind of like warped in a way. And yeah, I'm like, nah, I want the real stuff. I want the real stuff. That's what I want. And that's what I'm going to get. So then, okay, it's like, all right, we get that there have been a lot of things that we've been taught to believe that aren't true. We get that we want to intentionally co-create. We get that because we're now waking up, a lot in our life is shifting, is changing. And y'all know I say this prayer like every now and then. And it's funny because it's like whenever I say it, usually it's not like anything has really happened. It's more of a, oh, I just feel like I need like a clearing. But I always say this, ooh, I'm feeling something right here. What is that about? So I say, whatever is truly aligned for me, please keep it in my life. Whatever is not aligned for me, please remove it. I say it a few times. And every time I say it, it's like I start finding out things. And it's like, you can't make it up. Like things that I wasn't expecting, or people start sharing things, and I'm like, ooh, did not know that. It's just, ooh, life will take you for a ride, friend. So then it's like, okay, when things start clearing out, layers start shedding, what does that leave us with? A blank canvas. The opportunity to co-create a reality that is so true for us. And I honestly think we only get there by like really starting to question everything. And I am someone who asks a lot of questions. Okay, like I drive my friends crazy sometimes, but I feel like I've always just been a very curious person. And lately, I've just been like noticing things within myself, like, why do I do that? Or like, if I'm in a conversation with someone and because, oh my God, this is something I used to do a lot, right? Where it's like I would avoid kind of saying things to kind of like make other people feel comfortable, even if it didn't make me feel comfortable. Or this is actually not cute. Something I used to do is there was a point in time where I even used to accept blame for things that I should not have accepted blame for. So I would kind of like go along and agree to things that like weren't actually true for me in a sense, not in the sense of like, I'm going to lie about something, but more in the sense of like, if someone's like, you did this and blah, 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 blah. Sometimes I just be like, all right, like whatever. And it's like, that is a form of abandoning yourself. Even if in your mind, even if in your eyes, it just seems like a flippant thing. It's like, no, it's like you are abandoning yourself by agreeing to a false narrative about you. And I feel like that's something that I'm kind of trying to figure out right now because it's like there is this whole thing of fine, like if people are going to misunderstand me, like that's on them, not on me. Like I feel like I know my truth and I know my worth. And I do think it's, like, important to kind of, like, check within, like, is it aligned to speak up or not? I just like, it would even be, like, really small things where I'd be like, "Wait, like, why did I just do that? Like, why did I just abandon myself?" And it's because it's like there was a point in time where abandoning myself was how I survived. It's how I maybe fit in or belonged, right? By abandoning a part of myself. But now I'm like, I'm not doing that anymore. Like, if I need to stand alone, but I'm standing alone in my full truth, I'd rather do that than abandon myself just to fit in. And when I remember to do this, it's like I even jot down, like, on my notes app on my phone, like, oh, like, this is a program, like, this is a belief that's not actually true that I believed and thought was true. But I don't have to believe it anymore. One, because I know what's real and true. And two, because I don't need to live in, like, survival. I can be free with who I am. I feel like, a lot of us, I mean, I feel like especially those of you guys who are probably listening or have subscribed to my YouTube channel, all the things. It's like, I don't know. I just feel like we're kind of like minded people. Like, I feel like a lot of us at some point in time, maybe didn't feel comfortable just being our full self because of these false narratives that we were taught to believe, right? Don't be like this. Don't be selfish. Don't be whatever. Or you have to go to this you have to go to this thing. Like, it's like that obligation, fear, and guilt, I think, that kind of pulls us out of being who we really are. And that's why I always say it's like if you were to operate without fear, doubt, or guilt, how would you operate? Because I know, at least for me, it's like kind of trying to do life the right way. And I say right with quotation marks because it's more so like the way that maybe like other people wanted me to act, or the system, whatever it is, wanted me to act. It's like I feel like trying to do life that way has only left me feeling even more burned out, right? Because it's like you start to say yes when you want to say no. You start to, you're on the hustle hard hamster wheel, which I'm like, I am not trying to hustle anymore. And I feel like the majority of us don't want to do that anymore. It's like we're sick of it. We're tired of it. Like, I feel like I spent the majority of my 20s just, I need to hustle. I need to work so freaking hard. And I'm not saying that, like, you just don't do anything and, like, sit on your behind and you don't try and work towards anything. But I feel like when you're working towards something that is really aligned, it doesn't feel like this. It doesn't feel so hard. It's like you're excited to do it. You want to do it. I think it comes a little bit more naturally to you. And because again, like, nothing's ever going to be perfect. Honestly, even the sermon in church today was about how, like, sometimes, like, what you're called to do, it ain't always going to be easy. So it's like, I'm not here to say it's going to be sunshine and rainbows when you follow your truth, but I just think it's a different type of work when you're doing it from within versus from outside of you, if that makes sense. I really feel like we all deserve so much more. And I think we all deserve to get the most out of life. And I feel like we only do that by unsubscribing to these conditions. And oh, and I think that that's what I was going to say. So that story I told you about, like, the whole sometimes I abandon myself thing. It was through asking myself those questions that I started to realize, like, okay, like, what these different programs are. It's like I started to question certain things that I would do. Like, why do I think that? I feel like the best example is, oh, there aren't any more good men out there, all this stuff, which I am very single right now. Like, the last time I got hit on was I was driving. I was at a red light, and the car next to me was like, roll down your window, roll down your window. And he asked for my number, and I just gave it to him because I was bored. That is how single I am right now. So I feel you. I really feel you. And I've gone through the ups and downs of being single and all the things. And, there are a lot of people out there that are like, there aren't any good men out there. They're all taken. And I refuse to subscribe to that. I am not going to subscribe to that. And I actually have a really good friend who has always said, it's like, because she actually did the MBA with me in Paris, and she met her now husband, or now fiance, in Paris abroad and, moved to LA. They have a kid together, all the things. And she has always said to me, she's like, she was like, I never subscribed to that. Like, there aren't any good men out here. She's like, I walked around always thinking that there are so many men out there. There are so many men I could connect with, could align with. Like, that's how she moved through life. And she got her man. Okay. At the same time, I also think there is like divine timing, divine alignment, and all of that. And if I'm being honest with you guys, like I am so grateful that I didn't meet my man earlier because just looking at, let's say the version of me in my 20s who was very much a lost soul. Just the way I was dating was just, I like wasn't honoring myself at all. Like it just really honestly wasn't cute. And I'm not judging that version of myself. I love that version of myself, but she just had a lot to learn. So I'm grateful that I'll meet my guy and while I'm in a phase of life where it's like I'm just feeling a lot more grounded. Where was I going with this? Oh, but yeah. So, but I'm also kind of like switching my beliefs so that I'm not just thinking like, oh, there are no men out there for me or oh, all men are trash or whatever. Because I don't want life to mirror that back to me. But again, the whole point of this is to remember and recognize that life really is a mirror. And, I personally believe my reflection is due for an upgrade. If you are feeling a little bit disconnected, you're probably due for an upgrade too. But it really starts with you. And it really starts with you being intentional about creating a new reality versus being pushed and pulled and moving in all of these directions just based off of, these limiting beliefs. I was looking around and I was like, dang, like there are a lot of parts in my life that are just kind of like limiting beliefs made manifest. And I just think that we deserve more than that. We really do. So yeah, friends, just wanted to share that. And you can check out my Substack if you want kind of like just to have notes from this conversation. Because I actually think that could be cool. Like, if I, have the podcast and then the Substack is kind of like if you want to go back and just have something to reference instead of having to like go back and listen to the whole podcast or even like make notes yourself. But again, I'm not sure how often I'm going to be publishing on Substack. I'm really trying not to put pressure on myself in that area and just have it be fun and flow. But it is something that I kind of just wanted to try out. So feel free to check it out if you feel called to. But, this journey, friends, it is not for the faint of heart, let me tell you. But anyways, friends, that's really it from me. I'm just learning a lot and uncovering a lot. So figured I'd share. But thank you so much for watching. If you're watching this on YouTube, for listening, if you're listening on any podcast app, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you're checking this out on YouTube, and leave me a 5-star rating and review if you're listening to this on one of the podcast apps. It really does help a lot. I love you guys so much, and I'm very happy and also excited to be on this journey together. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Bye.